Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not sure how much of what I was saying you got the first time, so sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty with our audio, but we'll just go from the start. So guys, we spent quite a bit of this afternoon, so sorry for also only joining you guys now, but we spent quite a bit of our afternoon following up on the tracks for the dogs that they had this morning. They went into a little place, a little water hole, and as you can imagine, the soil there is a lot more steady or hard, so the tracks didn't really register when they came out, and with that being the case, it was difficult to see which direction they were going, and the long grass is also not helping at the moment. So we came to check up on these boys and make sure how they're doing. As you can see, still very lazy, not doing much. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll maybe just wait for them. There was some of the dog tracks that looked like they are going towards the mountain. So we'll have a look maybe a little later on, see if they don't want to come down to the waterhole. As I've mentioned, it is quite warm today. So with that being the case, I do think they might be thirsty when it cools down. So we'll just have to see what the case is. But yeah, lazy. The first time we were live, we actually only had the one cheetah here. The other one was lying a little bit in the back underneath the trees where we couldn't see him, and I think he got a little jealous. So he came and joined his brother now, just to be in the shot as well. We're very happy about it. It's always better. Two cheetahs are always better than one. But yeah, he doesn't seem to like the spot where he's lying in. That guy's just passed out. I mean, he loves his little area where he's dropped down into. The other one, he's quite aware of what's going on around him. You can see he's looking around, he's laying up, yawning quite a bit. So that could potentially mean that he's going to get up soon. You know, with the cats, typically, when we want to know when they are going to get up is when they start yawning like that, to get a little oxygen into the brain. So would be nice if he wants to go and have a drink of water or something like that. He is the lower ranking male, so his belly doesn't look quite as full as the other one. So there's a slight possibility that he might be, I wouldn't say hungry, but could be at that point where he might want to. Boys will be boys, eh? But he could be at that point where he may want to look to hunt something as well. Or he would just wants his brother's spot. And now that this other guy is sitting up, you can actually see this difference in his belly size as opposed to the other one that was just up. This one quite a bit more full. So he must have had the last say in the meal as well. So yeah, lazy. There's quite a bit of giraffe at the waterhole behind us as well. If these guys continue to look like this, we may go and have a look at them. I think that's maybe a good option. Let's do that in any way. Jerry, you're absolutely right. I mean, that guy had a lot to eat. While we move away from them, he had a lot to eat. I'm pretty sure they only finished the kill maybe early this morning or late last night. So with that being the case, the belly is still going to be nice and round, especially the higher ranking guy, because he would have definitely claimed his little piece of the action above the lower ranking brother. So he's definitely going to take a bit more time to digest all of the meat that he has inside of him. But yeah, they'll do that. They'll look like that after a big meal. You'll find that with lions as well. They'll absolutely gorge themselves, and then they'll take an easy day. There's some giraffes necking as well. Hopefully when we go closer they'll continue doing that, just practice fighting. But to come back to the cats, absolutely gorge themselves, and then it'll take about a day to let's say 12 to 24 hours for them to just finish digesting most of the meat and look a little bit more lean again. Let's just see what these boys are up to. Yeah, there's a neck going on. But this is all just practicing for one day, guys. It's absolutely not anything serious. I'll show you now. Just gonna go past this bush quickly. There we go. There you can see that. It's more just to, create all the pathways in the brain for one day when they do need to do the proper fighting. They already know where the targets are, the soft spots. And for the giraffe, it doesn't matter whether some will definitely prefer the other style or this style, but you'll see every now and again they either stand with their bum to the other one's chest, like these guys are doing now, or they'll stand with their two chests next to each other, depending on which areas they want to target. Like I've mentioned before in previous shows, they either target the rump area, always the legs as well, but either the rump or the neck area, neck and shoulder area. Those are the two preferred areas of contact when they want to hit each other with those ossicones. And yeah, all of these guys still young boys, a young bachelor group. It is, guys, yeah, it's absolutely a stunning scene. I mean, having the mountains in the background and all of these giraffe just standing right next to us. It's just stunning. They seem to be loving, especially this group, they seem to be loving this waterhole or this particular area around this time of the day now for the past almost a week. It's like a little routine that they've got, coming in at around 4:30 and sticking here, getting all the mineral salts and drinking some water and then just chilling a little bit until it starts cooling down and they start moving out to feed again. It seems like the blows are getting a little bit harder, when it's always like that when friends play fight or when brothers play fight or so. It's always fun and games until one of them decides the other one was hitting a little too hard now, and then it becomes a little bit more intense. Not that it will go into a full fight with these guys, but you guys all know what I mean. That one that's standing on the left, he still needs a lot of practice though. So yeah, guys, we're going to see if this fight gets a little bit more intense. If it does, we'll let you know. But I think we're just going to stick with them for a little bit.
For the month of January 2021, we are offering a chance to win a unique Wild Earth expedition to the magnificent Tswalu Kalahari. From the ancient quartzite Koranenberg Mountains to the southern Kalahari's red sand dunes, Tswalu offers what travelers crave most: space and time. The winner will explore this landscape in a vehicle, on foot, or on horseback, with a chance to go behind the scenes with Wild Earth and of course meet the meerkats. The prize includes a 3-night stay for you and a friend at the luxury Motse Lodge, including flights from either Johannesburg or Cape Town. Open to all Wild Earth explorers who have signed up before the end of January 2021. Terms and conditions apply.
My name is Ross and I'm a field guide at and beyond Pinde Private Game Reserve. I love getting questions from guests on Wild Earth because I love sharing and learning information about nature with new people, and it also makes me feel like you're all joining me in real life. If you want to ask a question on Wild Earth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to our live safari page and submit your question below our live feed.
Have you been watching Wild Earth and dreamt of being right there on safari with one of the guides? Well, now you can. Wild Earth is offering you a chance to buy a ticket to dream. You or a friend can hop on board a live Wild Earth show and join our guide on safari. The ticket is redeemable at any of our locations, anytime in the future. Only a limited number of tickets are available, so don't wait. Get your ticket now and start dreaming. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, we're still with Clem. As you can see, she's turned around again and is lying now with that belly kind of hanging down. I think it's much more comfortable, even though the sun's hitting her in the face. I think the comfort level for her tummy to hang is much better than if she lies the other way around. I think her tummy gets squished a little bit when she lies the other way around. This way she can at least kind of keep the tummy hanging and her legs sort of underneath. She's very happy up there, though. I was just saying hopefully she'll stay up there for another sort of hour, because the light will just get magnificent on her if she does, particularly if she turns again the way that she was a little bit earlier. We should see some beautiful, beautiful light coming through onto her. It'll be pretty with this kind of greenery in the blue sky and that orange sort of glow on her coat, but as she sort of lies on that branch. But it's actually a good opportunity now that she's turned a little bit, just to have a scan of that tummy. You know, sometimes when they're pregnant, you'll start to just see the teats swelling through the fur. Oh, I can't see anything. Where the teats are just kind of hidden, unfortunately, by the branch, so I think it's just meat that's inside there. Although I don't see any signs of blood or anything on her coat. Often when a leopard's been eating, you can, just around the neck area, you can still see a bit of blood. Could be, though, that she's just groomed herself really nicely since she's been up in the tree and made sure that she's nice and clean. I don't know. It'll be a mystery that we'll just have to keep monitoring. Clash, there's a few things that you can use. I mean, it's tricky. You can never get an accurate age, exact age for leopards. So you can never be like, that leopard is 3 years old, unless you've kind of seen it from a very small cub and you know when it was kind of born and you followed their mom and those kinds of things. But what you can use is a rough estimate of age, and so you're looking at a number of different things. You're looking at size of the leopard. You're looking at male or female, and then the size relative to that sex. You're looking at ear condition, so the ears of a young leopard will be perfect. So if Tlalamba, for example, you know, she's just over 3 years old now, and so her ears are still perfect. She doesn't have too many scrapes or cuts on them. The bridge of her nose is also really in good condition. That's another place to look for age. And so those are really good indicators, as well as just general body size in males of the neck and shoulders particularly, and the dewlap size. There is a bit of genetic kind of variability in the neck and dewlap in males, but that'll give you a rough indication of where they are. And when I say rough indication, we're talking sort of a 2-3 year sort of bracket. So you can kind of sex cubs from anywhere from 0 to like 2 years. That's pretty easy to see the differences between those. And then male leopards that are sort of 3 to 5 are very similar. And then from 5 until sort of 8, 9, they're quite similar. Obviously the ears start to degrade, and then after they start going past that, then you start to see very visible signs of wearing on their face. So lots of scars, scrapes, ears becoming tatty. There is some animals that the noses will change color, and so you'll see a pink nose going black, but that's not accurate to use at all. A lot of people will say a young cat has pink noses, an older cat has black noses. That is not true. We've had quite a few leopards in this area. If you look at Tundi and Shadow, which are two good examples, I mean, Tundi's nose is not pink, but there is still a pink center there, whereas Shadow, her sister, had a pink nose at 10 years old. So that doesn't help that much, but, you know, generally when you're seeing little black spotting coming through on the nose and increasing, that also can help you a little bit. So yeah, those are the kind of ways that you'll be able to sort of age a leopard. Younger leopards will always kind of display perfect faces. So, there's like, if you look at her, there's not, almost doesn't look like there's a hair out of place on the bridge of her nose, on her eyebrows, on her ears. Everything looks perfectly as though she was kind of born yesterday. But aging of any animal is always a rough estimate. It's a very tricky thing. The reason why we know exactly how old she is because we followed her mom, and we saw her mom pregnant, and then we saw her mom in a den site, and suckle marks. And so we can narrow that down to pretty much a week, which was the end of October, beginning of November. We saw her kind of with the cub still inside and pregnant, and then James found her at a termite mound, and she looked as though she had given birth already. And then we went back the next day, and she came out of the termite mound with suckle marks. So that kind of gives us a rough idea of where it was. It was somewhere in that sort of week, 10 days between seeing her pregnant and then seeing her at the termite mound. So that's why we can have pretty good, accurate sort of estimate on her. And some of the other cats that we have around, we have a sort of, with them, is a 3 to sort of 4 week window where we might be a little bit off, but generally we're pretty kind of close when it comes to the aging of the cats in this area. Males, on the other hand, we struggle a little bit more with, unless we can find where they've come from, then we can work out their ages. But hypothetically, for example, Hukamuri, Tingana, these guys, while we have a rough idea of their age, we don't have an exact kind of month or date that we use as their kind of aging. We say roughly around 14 years old, or for Tingana, which I think we overestimated his age in the beginning, so I think he's closer to 13, but it's difficult to know 100%. So that's where it kind of changes. But yeah, everything is difficult. We get this question a lot in terms of how old is that animal? How old is this animal? And it really is quite variable, particularly in something like an elephant. Elephants genetically, some are bigger bodied than others, some have bigger tusks than others. It's a tough question to ask without having, to give an exact sort of time frame. You can give within a couple years, but you're never really exactly sure. So why this area has been so valuable for leopards in particular is because there's very few places in the world where the leopards are as well documented and as well followed as what you have here in this particular reserve. The lineages here are stretching back multiple generations now, and it's exact kind of dates of birth, exact lifespans, all kinds of behavioral aspects that many other kind of places you wouldn't be able to get. We've seen how sociable the leopards can be here at times, how males are not always away from their cubs. They do sometimes pop in and kind of see them and sit with them for a little bit. We've seen, multiple leopards on the same kills. There's all these things that have been learnt from just documenting behavior here, and it's why citizen science is so important. If you look even across now the Kruger National Park, a lot of people are paying far more attention to the ID of an individual, and there's these kind of maps that are building of all of these animals all across, and you can start to see the mosaic of males and females and distribution and areas that are higher density of leopard within the same reserve. And it's really interesting data that's being used, as well as distributions. You're starting to see how far are these animals distributing, where are they distributing to, are females and males distributing, is it just males? All these things are being answered by the fact that people are coming to this reserve, guides are going out, they documenting what's happening, and so the system is rolling on, and the monitoring of an elusive species like a leopard has been next level in this area, and really starting to rewrite some of the books about leopard behavior and leopards in general, which is wonderful. This is what we need. We need a lot more of this kind of stuff for a number of different species that we have in the world, particularly the more shy and reclusive. And if you look at places like Pinda and Swalu, the amount of work those guys are doing on some very interesting species. So species like, pangolins, aardvarks, the rhinos, cheetah, these things are all being given a lot more attention in various places because of guides and guests coming and the documenting of those sightings, where, when, how. It all makes a big difference. And, if you think about it, like I say, these leopards, these all get logged onto a database, what kills they're making, so you're getting a huge amount of information on their food sources. It's really, really interesting stuff that comes from us just sitting here with these cats day in, day out. All right, we're going to stay with Kalamba. I really don't think we're going to move on. She's elusive enough as it is, so while we do that, let's send you across to Tess at Ngala.
Welcome back to And Beyond Ngala, everybody. So I'm actually following the pack of wild dogs, and they are keeping us on our toes at the moment. Oh, got it. And at the moment, they are actually busy hunting. They are busy hunting, and we are on the move, following them. They're actually coming towards the road. So we're looking in the road at the moment. They're running towards us. They've already killed one impala. The hyena stole it straight away. And so now they're looking for some more. And I love this excitement of chasing wild dogs, trying to find them. So Rowan is actually following them at the moment in the bush on our right-hand side. And when we counted earlier, it is the Ngala pack that used to be 21. We only counted 17. So we're not actually sure if there were more that we just didn't count. There was definitely one less puppy, so I think one of them has died. And possibly two adults. And we know there have been a lot of conflicts between the wild dogs and the Mbiri pride, which is a pride that we find in the southwest of and beyond Ngala. Got some impalas on the right looking very nervous. I'm excited to see them pop out of these bushes. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do, Rowan said they're going to pop up here at this quarry. So I am going to wait here for him because they are coming towards us. Keep a slow drive. Lekatani, yes, they do. Wild dogs certainly have a hierarchy, and that is the alpha pair, which will be the most dominant, and they're the only ones that are allowed to mate. They decide when they move, where they'll be denning as well, where they have their pups. And if somebody outside of that hierarchy gets pregnant, for example, that female might actually be abandoned, or the pups could be abandoned or killed even. And so it's incredibly important that they maintain that hierarchy. That hierarchy is what determines how well they survive as a pack. Oh, come on, wild dogs, I'm so excited. Got some very nervous looking impalas here on the right, and they are actually looking straight down to where Rowan says the wild dogs are coming from, which is down to my left hand side. There you can see they're staring into the bush. So for them, they're quite nervous because the wind is blowing really hard. And currently it's actually blowing from them into the direction of the wild dogs. And so they can't smell the wild dogs at the moment, but they might be able to hear the faint sounds of running through the grass. And especially when they're so focused like that, that's really when you want to pay attention to what they're doing. So now you can see one is actually turned, and so they're listening in both directions. can hear Roan's vehicle. Alright, they're actually about to pop up behind us. See how they keep us on our toes. It's always the most fun following wild dogs, I think. But I could be biased. It's okay, I'll take it. Rose, the top speed of wild dogs will be up to around 85 kilometers per hour. But that obviously will depend on where they are moving. If they're moving through somewhere that's very thick, it'll be a bit slower. But they definitely rely on their speed and working as a team and actually stamina more than anything to keep themselves going. So they will be able to run and keep running at that speed while the other animals like impalas can't. And so that's when it becomes really, really important that they're built the way that they are. I can't hear them anymore. Let's wait and find out where Rowan is. Rowan, come in. Teamwork. What do you know?
We're going to come to... Well, we're basically on Pretoris East now. Come to the quarry.
Copy. Rowan says they're almost at this quarry where we're sitting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit here and wait for them. They should be coming now in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So while we wait, we're going to send you over to Tualu and then we'll bring you back here once we've found them here at this quarry.
Let's quickly squiz around the mountain and get into the shade again, because the road that we're going to take is next to the mountain. So
See the glint of the vehicle coming in. It seems like the wild dogs are actually going to be coming from my right-hand side, so I'm waiting here for Rowan. He says they're basically almost on top of us now. And this for us is a little bit easier than me just driving around to try and find him if he's quite deep into that block, because we don't want to be causing more damage than we need to. And it's a perfect area. There's a little bit of water in this quarry. We're quickly going to send you over to Tristan. He'll be back with us shortly.
Well, as you can see, Tlalamba has just like a shot come to the fork of the tree. I don't know what she has seen from up there, but all of a sudden she went from sleeping to very interested in something. So we'll just see what happens. She's probably watching a little duiker or an impala or something that's in this long grass. Yeah, that would be my guess. But look at that, it's gone. You can't even see her in that grass, but she's running off. So we're going to try and keep up with her. But honestly, I don't... It's just mind this cat spotted.
Sorry about that, everybody. Welcome back to us on the southern section of Jumenau. I'm not sure what's happened with Tristan. He's up in Buffelshoek, so it's possible that just some signal issues over there. But don't worry, you're with us. Jump on board our vehicle. We are now on our way towards Chitwa. See if we can find out where Tandy's little cub has gotten to. maybe where she is as well. It's possible she might have actually made a kill and come and fetched him. The guys on Chitra don't seem to know where he is. Maybe we'll have some luck. You never know. Getting that sort of feeling, that little leopard feeling is creeping up in my belly. I'm going to check out Chitra anyway. I was chatting with Dylan now from Chitra, and he reckons maybe we should check Torchwood. So we'll just go to where Tristan told me where he left the little fellow. See if we don't fall in another hole this time, which won't be ideal with it, will it, Imbo? Although with your arms, you'll just be able to pick us out of it. Yeah, we were talking earlier about getting stuck. It's not ideal getting stuck. We got stuck yesterday on Chitra, the end of the show in the morning. We closed with Sandy and her cub, and then the cub came down the tree and went onto a log, and I moved forward a meter to have a look at him, and his whole front wheel just descended into a cavity in the ground, and I had to get pulled out, everybody. Hand on heart, I got pulled out. It's the first time I physically had to be pulled out. I know that what that means. A lot of you know what that means to me. I finally got stuck, and I finally had to get help. It was a proper hole. I think it could have lost an entire vehicle in there. We nearly did, but anyway, it's all good. Here comes the vehicle. They might be able to give us an update with regards to what's going on, so I do apologize if I talk to them for a moment. I don't think they want to talk to me. It's all right. Smile and a wave. It's always a lovely thing. It's like the Mara. Many people want to talk to you in the Mara, but there's so many places to go and so far to go, and there's so many cars that you just can't. You just can't physically stop and talk to everybody. And many people want to wave, and James, I think, got a lot of attention while he was up there. Okay, everybody, well, we're going to arrive onto Chitra shortly, and hopefully we'll be able to give you an update when next we meet.
Some leopard luck, that's for sure. As you can see, Columba is posing beautifully on a fallen over log, so whatever she's seen must be up ahead here somewhere. Now hopefully you guys can hear me. I was having a few issues with our audio, but if you can see, she's kind of up on a fallen tree now, and whatever it was that she saw, I think she's lost it, because she's now looking in different directions. So from up in the tree being so raised, she probably saw something like a little duiker, but now down in the grass, it's really difficult to pick that up. And so she's kind of struggling a little bit with being able to actually see properly where it's gone. I wonder what it must have been. Maybe, like I say, a little duiker would be my guess. Beautiful though, isn't that light on her coat magnificent? I think she's going to come down now shortly. Wow, that is absolutely beautiful. Columba, you're posing beautifully, my girl. Something about just looking into her eyes that is mesmerizing. And like I say, she does have some of the most special eyes of our cats out here. Alright, well, we'll stay with her and try to keep up in these thickets. Hopefully she'll continue to pose like this on fallen over trees as we go.
So following the wild dogs, they bumped into the Makoti male. And he is looking very, very serious at the moment, because he's not actually sure where they've gone. They didn't see him, but he started moving to try and get away from them. And they've actually run straight east towards the boundary. And he's watching a bird at the moment. That's why he just sat down. There's a vulture that flew in. Look how he's flattened himself. And there's a hyena coming past as well. And the hyena hasn't spotted him. The hyena's intently waiting for those wild dogs to make another kill. That's absolutely incredible. He's sitting in the grass and there is a hyena less than 10 meters from him that has not noticed him because it's so intent on the wild dogs. Have a look, it's going to walk past the frame now. How close is that to that leopard? And if you look back with that view, you can barely see that leopard. So he's still watching because there are 4 clan members, 4 hyenas coming through here. Did you see how he flattened his ears and lowered his head? And he's watching as this hyena walks past. And he will do that for every hyena that walks past because they have not noticed him. There's the hyena. This one's younger. So the wild dogs have gone off behind me. And we think that they might come back this way. But those hyenas literally did not notice that leopard. So he's watching them walking away, and now he's up again. So I think he's waiting to see if there's more hyenas coming, because there were definitely 2 other hyenas that were with these 2. Sky, it is so wonderful to see Makoti in this beautiful long grass disappearing behind a bush. So I think he's pretty uncertain about where he wants to go right now, because there's hyenas coming from one side, wild dogs have run to the other side, and he's kind of stuck in the middle right now, and he doesn't know where he wants to go. There's another hyena that's come up behind him that he has not noticed yet. And that hyena is actually downwind of him now. So he's sitting just to the left of that bush, and he's got just his ears sticking out there. They've noticed him. The hyenas was just realized that he's taken a run for it. The younger one is actually smelling exactly where he was sitting in the grass. So I think what we're going to do, Rowan's going to follow the leopard. I'm going to turn around and see if we can keep up. I think the wild dogs have gone towards the boundary. It's amazing how your plans change so quickly. We saw the wild dogs and they were gone, and all of a sudden there was a leopard in the middle of the road. Okay, so I'm going to let Rowan keep going that way. I'm going to check around this way, and hopefully we can find the leopard or the wild dogs again. This grass is so long. It's actually, the pups were even struggling to run through this grass, which is incredible. Makes you realize how thick it is out here and how easily he could camouflage himself just by settling himself. So we're going to try and find them again, and we'll send you over to Tristan with his leopard.
I have no doubt, Jess, that it is not easy at all. Following wild dogs in the summer is one of the hardest things to do. You've got to be careful of stumps and aardvark holes and all kinds of other things just to be able to kind of get anywhere near them. Luckily, Tlalamba has settled somewhat, so she's being very kind of good to us in many ways by just staying still for now. This is not going to be something that lasts too long. I'm fully aware that we're going to have our work cut out a little bit later too, much like Tess is. But isn't that beautiful with that sun in the back? She is such a pretty little leopard. I can't call her little anymore. She's gotten so big these days. She's a proper sized cat. And in many ways actually probably bigger than her mom. Which is crazy to think. I just kind of always think back to those days where we saw her as this tiny little cub in that hole for the very, very first time, and she was kind of, bumbling about and not even really able to walk properly the first time we saw her. And then to see her kind of slowly developing into this incredible leopardess that we see today has been an absolute treat. It's one of the things that I'll forever savor in my life, is the ability to have spent as much time with cats as I have, or leopards particularly, as I have in my time at Wild Earth. It's been a real privilege to have followed many of the cats that we see from a very young age. I mean, even Tundi, the first time I saw Tundi, she was younger than what Tlalamba is now. I managed to kind of watch her as she's grown up and raised all these litters of cubs, which has been a very, very, very special experience in its own right. Teresa, she is a beautiful chunky cat, isn't she? She's got kind of a nice sort of body shape. She's kind of quite big in the shoulders, and then she kind of tapers out towards the back. So she actually, funny enough, her mom, Tundi, has never been big in the shoulders, but she has a very similar kind of high back leg sort of waist area. And when the two of them walk, they actually walk quite similar as well. So she's inherited a little bit of her mom, but she's got her dad's kind of chunkiness in the sort of neck and shoulders area. But it makes for a very attractive individual. She really is pretty, and boys are all going to be lining up for her, I think. I think there's going to be a lot of competition over at Tlalamba. I wouldn't be surprised that Mulawati is spending more time up north just because of her and the scent that she is, providing in these areas. I wonder if she's just going to sit up here. You can see how after just walking in the grass a bit, she's just making sure. Jono, it is, I'll make 100% now, sure, just give me 2 seconds, but I think it's 5-4, I think, or 5-5, I can't even, like I say, the spot patterns are not something we actually spend a lot of time focusing on. I don't know what I've done with my, I suppose we can just look. James Richard will be able to help us, or many of you actually will be able to help us with it. I think it's 5-4 or 5-5. Is it 5-5? 5-5. I think we decided that there was one spot that was a fifth one. I don't know what I've done with my phone. I have it all on my phone, but I don't always, like I say, for us, the spot pattern is pretty much null and void. It's not really something we look at very much in terms of IDing her. Well, I don't know what I've done with my phone. Somewhere here, but I've lost it in the chaos of following her, which is par for the course. There it is. I found it again, don't worry. By now, I'm sure somebody has already posted what she is, but I'll just double check anyway, just to make sure. I just got to find her. There's a problem when you have so many different leopards that you've kind of photographed. Sometimes it takes a bit of time to actually find the one that you're looking for. I should actually categorize them all on my phone. It would definitely help a lot more with being able to find certain individuals. There we go, 5-5. I thought so. It was 5-5 or 5-4, one of the two, but she's got quite high spot counts. A lot of the leopards, actually, funny enough, have 3 3s. And she has got, big yawn. She's got slightly higher numbers than her mom. Her mom's the 3-3. Look at that, gone. Remember what I was saying earlier about how you won't find her if she's down on the ground? That's exactly what I mean. Okay, well, we're going to try to follow. I don't know where she's gone. I can't actually even see her anymore. In the meantime, let's send you across to Steve and an elephant.
Next, can we join you?
Right, well, it sounds like Steve's having a few issues. We've lost Kalamba completely. I don't know where she's gone. I think she's just laid down in the grass, to be honest. I'm just going to try and see if I can find her here. Kalamba? Where have you gone? She must be just here in the grass. But I can't see her. Just try. It's fairly open on the other side of this little bush, so she couldn't have gone out without us seeing her. I'm gonna check if she's not just sitting here. Ah, there she is. I can see her now. She's just lying. Is that her, or is that just... No, it's not her. I thought it was her. It was just like a little light-colored patch in amongst all the greenery. But I don't see any sign of her. I just want to listen, because if she is here and she moves, we'll hear the rustling in amongst all of this. But I mean, it just goes to show you, she's not like we were far from her and she's just like this, is gone. The problem with her as well is she's a trotter. So she often likes to trot places, which means she comes down from these fallen over things and then she just trots quickly and is gone before you even know it. But I don't see any sign of her anywhere. There's a Franklin alarm calling behind me, but it's not. I don't think that's for her. And she wouldn't have gotten that far without anybody seeing her coming out the back. The vehicles that are with us in the sighting, they didn't see her moving away. They saw her move into this little thicket, and we went round as she was moving. So she must have just lay up here. Amazing, isn't it? Can go from perfect to gone in seconds. And this cat is like her mom. She's learned that there's ways and means to use her underground tunnels to get away from us in many respects. I don't know where she's managed to go, but she's somewhere in this little area here. Amazing. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Nope, no sign of her that I can see. The problem with her is if she has gone and we've missed her, you know, she can put distance between us pretty quickly. All right, so I'm going to just try and scan around with some binos and just see if maybe I can't just pick up an ear or something inside here. In the meantime, though, let's send you across to Tess as she attempts to follow those wild dogs.
It seems Tristan is not the only one struggling to find animals in the thick bush. So we watch the wild dogs cross the eastern boundary with those hyenas after them. 2 hyenas. He split and followed the leopard instead. And then the leopard also disappeared into the thick bush. So he was coming this way. We're just doing it nice and slow on this road, waiting for him to see if he could. But that was wildly exciting, following one thing. And they changed direction so many times. And then we bump into a leopard chased out by the wild dogs, and they didn't even notice him. Absolutely crazy. And then having the hyenas in the mix always just stirs things up. So we're actually incredibly close to Anbion Ngala's tented camp. This seems to be where all the action is happening this afternoon. And I'm really, really hoping now that the wild dogs have crossed out, we won't see them again, but I'm really hoping that Makoti male will pop out again. And it's really good to know that he's actually coming further into the property and not going towards the boundary like the wild dogs did. It's very exciting. It was the talk amongst all the rangers today that Makoti male seems to be back, even if it's temporarily. It's lovely to see him. Hamesley, wild dogs will rest between meals during the day and during the night. So at the moment they are still hunting. They are still looking for more food because their kill was stolen by the hyenas. But once their bellies are full, they'll actually sleep throughout the night. And then they'll hunt again in the mornings, and then they'll sleep again throughout the day. So they're what we call crepuscular, which means that they'll be active in the morning and in the evenings. Unless it's a very cool day, then they might be active throughout the day. Or unless it's a full moon, then they might actually go out and hunt at night because they can look better. Got such a good success rate with their kills, so if you actually manage to keep up with them in the thick bush that Tristan and I are struggling with today, then you might actually be lucky enough to see the wild dogs making a kill. They're just so fast that usually by the time they take off and by the time you get there, they've already started eating and they're almost done. So you've really got to hope that they make that kill in a clearing where you can really follow them well. At the moment, everything is so thick around here that if they disappear into the long grass with a few shrubs around and they start changing direction, it can be incredibly hard. But that's all the fun of it, I think. It's so unpredictable out here, it's really wild. It's something that you have to appreciate. Always good to have a challenge. Lillian, wild dogs don't always hunt in packs. If they do break away from the pack, they can hunt successfully on their own. But it is a little bit harder for them. That being said, things like scrub hares and some of the smaller animals would hide under bushes, and so they can quite easily be surprised by individuals. However, if they're wanting to have a much better success rate or wanting to feed themselves properly with, say, an adult impala, it definitely helps having the whole pack working together. They have a lot of different communication skills that work incredibly well as a pack. The hyenas are actually a little bit similar. So the hyenas will, if they're hunting, hunt in a clan, hunt in a group, so that they've got the team effort. But actually when they're out looking for food, they actually split up so that they don't have to share their meals. So whatever they find is fair game for themselves, and if they need help, say they come across, or even a pride of lions, and they need backup to help stealing a kill, that's when you hear that deep hooting call that the hyenas make. And then the rest of them come in and they'll take on the other predators and steal the kill. But actually, people, I think, underestimate hyenas a lot. People think that all they do is scavenge, but actually they're really good at hunting. Very similar design to the wild dogs, just bulkier and with that sloping back to give them a really easy gait. And by gait, I mean when they're running, they can keep running for a really long time because the natural rhythm the body falls into with that body shape allows them to keep running for longer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep going down this road slowly. My Courtesy mail is going to pop out. I'm going to turn around a little bit ahead and come back up, and we'll send you over to and beyond Pinda in the meantime.
Welcome back, everybody, to and beyond Pinda, where we've come back to that area where we've had some really good leopard viewing of late, and that female leopard has popped up for us this afternoon. It's as if she's sitting on a nest where she is now, and as we speak she's disappeared, but right up top, and there's some elephant pudding there that I think she's made herself at home. She's just climbed up. She saw something of interest. It looked like something was irritating her at the same time, but there you can see her head again as she reshuffles a little bit. Quite a bit of grooming going on there that we saw. Earlier on she chased after some warthog unsuccessfully, then went down to a little bit of a pan, but that had dried up. So not having the best of runs this afternoon. So she's come up to this lovely little vantage point with this cool breeze blowing. And I can't imagine now that she's starting to groom and
show quite a lot of interest in getting up and active, that she's going to stay up there for too long. On the other side of the main road that we've just come from, there are a couple of impala, so if she's seen them, she could very well set off in that direction this evening to see if she can't hunt. There is literally no other view of her from where we are, so I think I'm just going to stay here for now and see if she doesn't reposition where she is, get up and shift around, but you can still see there that glimpse of the white tips behind her ear, that paw there. She's doing some serious grooming, and that must literally just be like a bed up there. She stands up very gingerly in that spot, and you can hear as she shuffles a couple of twigs and things like that breaking underneath. But quite a lot of soft padding underneath her. We might just see if there's a break in the grooming, if she doesn't peer over that tree again and we get to see that face of hers. But her head looks like it's facing away from us. You can see the white and the black behind her ears now. Really, really long whiskers if she does lift her head. And this leopard, for everyone at home who's been keeping track, is the Tabankosi female. And again, a tree where the guys have spotted her before in the early hours of the morning. So one of her favourites. As we watched her come into this area, she was scent marking quite heavily. She has been, a good few months ago now, she's been seen mating. And I think even more so recently, again, with one or two of the male leopards in this area, which is quite exciting stuff. If she was to fall pregnant and have a litter, it would be her first litter of cubs, and being such a relaxed female, it's quite exciting for us and future leopard viewing here on Phinda. Kiara, thank you for your question. At the age of 13 years old, you're asking how many cubs a female leopard will have. They can sometimes have up to 3 cubs, but typically around 2 cubs. And the survival rate of them is, not the highest. Sometimes you regularly see them with just 1 youngster that they raise, but can have up to 3 youngsters, which I've never seen with my own eyes, but I have seen other people's pictures of them, which was amazing. Kiara, I'm not sure how many you've seen before with a female leopard, but super cute. And we're hoping that in the very near future she does have youngsters, and being the relaxed leopard that she is, will allow us to view said youngsters when they are around. But it must literally be like a nest up there where she is, because you only get glimpses of her here and there as she's lying. Can you hear that dark-haired bulbul going frantic in the background? Some more glimpses of the head there. Behind that quarry, and you can see those really pretty little Chinese lanterns of that sickle bush with the white and yellow and sometimes pink and white flowers. But it might just be worth spending a little bit of time here and seeing if she doesn't in fact climb down at some stage. She can't stay up there forever. Maybe just grooming the tools of the trade in between those claws and the hard to get places. Having a thorough scan around from where she is to see if maybe a herd of impala aren't a little bit closer. And then we might see her get down and start hunting this evening. Now that sun has disappeared as well, it's cool down significantly. Just see more flashes of white every so often. Cool down significantly, and like we said earlier with the nocturnal predators, for them to come out earlier on if it is cooler, you've got a good chance of seeing them out and about and not hiding. I'm going to stick around here and see what this leopard gets up to.
How insane is that animal?
This is out of this world. Fantastic. Good, Mama.
Wow, what a way to start off.
It's just such an incredible privilege to be out here. It just keeps on delivering.
There you go, there you go. Heart is pumping right now.
3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Look at this, everybody. We've got a live kill.
The croc's holding the tail. It's holding tight. Lucky wildebeest. There's nowhere to go. This is a disaster in the making.
Something that I have never seen before in my entire life that you are now watching live.
My heart is in my mouth, everybody.
Look at this. It's gonna make it. It's going, it's going.
This is just too magical. Hi, little guys. That's great, isn't it? Look at that. Scuba Steve has got a friend.
You've got a friend in me. It couldn't be a better morning. This is just too special.
Oh my goodness, we've got a turtle.
How epic is this fact that we're coming to you live from the Chobe River? It's the most incredible feeling to be here. This is live, and we're in Rwanda. This is a very, very different adventure, charged with emotion.
I did not think I would ever face my fears like this.
Unfortunately, it seems like there's a little bit of an issue at Swallow, so you are back with us. We have lost Columba completely. I don't know where she went. She might still be in that long grass. We drove round and round around the bush. Everyone's checked the road near there. We checked back towards the tree we had her in initially, did some loops. But honestly, in places, the grass is almost my head height sitting in the car. So if she's lying down, all I'm going to do is chase her with the vehicle and kind of drive over the top of her, which I don't want to do. You know, ultimately she gave us a really nice sighting, and the idea behind what we do here is to view animals without disturbing them too much. I mean, we can never be that naive to say that we don't disturb them at all, because that's not true. A big hunking vehicle that makes a lot of noise for a silent cat like that, there is a semblance of disruption. I mean, obviously when she's in a tree and we're sitting quietly, we're not, and that's why we always try and turn off if she's hunting and things like that. But if she's lost us, there's a reason for it. She doesn't want to be seen anymore, and so let's just leave it at that and respect her wishes and let her go. Always like this dead tree because it's a pity that there's so many bushes around it, but it's got a beautiful kind of line with the sunset, and you often get these kind of crepuscular rays that boom out of behind the escarpment and kind of come out over that dead tree. So a nice place just to stop and sometimes watch the sunset. It's a pity, like I say, that there's so much vegetation below it. If it was just standing on its own, it would be a really, really cool tree to kind of spend time watching the sun go down. But you can just see those rays on the left side of the tree coming out. Makes for a fairly pretty sunset this evening. It's not the best sunset I've ever seen, but pretty enough. The sun is already behind the escarpment, so you know, light is going to fade pretty quickly. Apparently we're supposed to have a beautiful day tomorrow. The wind also hasn't gotten up like they said it was going to. I'm hoping that this cyclone is going to slow right down and is not going to be as hectic as everyone's saying. I read a thing today that they reckon it's going to go a little bit more north of this area. So we will still get heavy rain, but we're not going to get really the brunt of it. We'll just get the edges. And then that hopefully will mean that we don't get crazy amounts of rain. depending on which forecast you check, we've got anything from sort of 150 millimeters of rain to almost close to 450, which is, if we get 450 mils of rain, we're going to have a problem. Okay, we're going to carry on. We're going to go see what else is out here. Maybe we'll get lucky with something. In the meantime, let's send you across to Steve.
Welcome back, everybody. Look who we found. We found Tandy's little boy lying up in the long grass, giving him lots of space. That's pretty much where he was seen this morning. Just going to give an update to another vehicle we do. It's going to be a 2-vehicle sighting. Yeah, Neil, he's just on the green part of the riverbed. So if you come up along the bank on my side as you get to the river, you'll get his visual. He's just lying up at my, 2 o'clock. Just stand by there. Okay. So he does, because he's on his own, he's a little bit more cautious than when Mum's around. When he's with Mum, he's far more sort of brazen. Far more brazen. And he will relax again. That's what leopards do. They are masters of camouflage, masters of hiding themselves. And he is being seen almost every day lately by the Chitwa guides. When we arrived as well, he was a little bit cautious, and then he calmed down again. It's perfectly fine to be viewing him at this age. Very adept at climbing trees. We've seen him. Yesterday morning we had him up a tree. Here we go. See, he's calming down again. He's hoping Mum's going to come. Peter was here before from Okoro. There were some very loud elephant noises from the distance, which might indicate that Mum's on the way. And I can't wait if she does arrive. How excited he'll be, because Tristan was saying this morning how frustrated he seemed. He was so full of energy, but he knows he doesn't really want to leave the immediate area that he's in, because he knows Mum knows where she left him, and she's going to come back for him directly. But as soon as she recognizes him, there's some Franklins off to the left calling. It's the direction that the elephants were shouting from as well. She might be sauntering down the riverbed. He's looking down in anticipation. Masters of camouflage, it's how they get by. Avoid detection. That hyena in where were you? In Ngala, I think. Wild dogs went straight into a leopard, and the hyena didn't even see the leopard. How many times have I seen that? Hyena walks straight past, the cat goes flat. Hyena walks on and then picks up the scent. It's like, oh, hang on, there was something here moments before. Masters of camouflage. Don't forget you are welcome to send through any questions and comments you might have to #WildEarth. Throw them in the YouTube chat stream at FC. We'd love to hear from you. How special is this little fellow? How blessed are we to spend time with him? James, it has been a leopard-filled drive, hasn't it? Been a leopard-filled drive, and it makes us very happy. Hopefully we're going to fill it a little bit more with a Tandy. It was interesting, I was hearing a guide talk about her the other day being very aggressive leopard. I think she just misunderstood. She does definitely show certain features from time to time. I haven't seen her show features in quite a while. She doesn't like, especially when she's got a cub, she doesn't like too much noise. She doesn't like too much movement. And if you're able to keep that to a minimum, everything generally works out just fine. I think sometimes people forget that she is a wild leopard. Very interested in the other vehicle, isn't he? So well camouflaged. If we zoom out, just keep your eye on him. Still got him there? Invisible. It's the habitat favoured by leopards. These deep drainage lines with lots of trees on the banks and deep grass. Little nooks and crannies, hidey holes. Plenty of places to hide a cub. Spend a lot of their time in the Milwati and the Milwanini, two major rivers in this area, dry riverbeds. There we go, he's gone flat.
Welcome back to And Beyond Ngala, everybody. So it has turned into a perfect evening. It's nice and warm. There's no wind anymore. And it just seems like everything's happening here today. So we're actually on our way. Have a look at the Birmingham Pride sub ones that I saw yesterday. If you saw them, and I'm hoping that the white ones are with them again. But everything just seems to be happening in the east. Don't know what it is, but we've had very, very good luck with predators today. I think it's probably got a bit to do with the weather as well, because it was overcast this morning. The predators moved around a bit. And I think now as well that it's starting to get kind of nice and calm. It's a good time for them to actually start moving. But it's one of those times that you actually, at this time of day in particular, and beautiful. Rangers, guides, Fred found the adults today, and it was while we were busy looking at that leopard wild dog craziness that was going on. So it's actually quite a relief in a sense, to see them because we haven't actually found them today since last night. So we didn't actually know where they'd gone, but they almost looked like they were going towards the eastern boundary, just like the wild dogs did this afternoon. I see a track. Oh, I think I see a white one already. Yes! If you can see, I can see the heads, 2 white lines in front of me. They stand out so much more to the bare eye in this light than the other lions do. And it amazes me that these sub-adults are still on their own. It's almost like they're not quite avoiding the adults, but they were contact courting last night, but they're not any closer to the adults at all. So you can actually see the white ones just in front of me here. I've actually got lions all around me right now. We're quickly going to send Pride Lens, and then we'll come back over here to the Birmingham Pride.
Well, this is awesome. It doesn't look like we've got anything. Just, I'm trying to see where it's from. Is a leopard. Definitely a leopard here. There it goes. A big male leopard, which is awesome to see. So we're just going to grab as much of this visual as we can. We have to reposition, and then again I'll reintroduce myself. I find myself saying that quite often these days. Okay, right, how cool. This is just there, hey. Sorry, I was looking down at the monitor. My name is Taylor McCurdy. I'm going to be joining later again, on camera. Is part of Baluli Game Reserve National. I feel like you guys know that by now. I'm just going to try and go ahead. So we actually do sleep outs here with the students at eco training, and I'm pretty sure there's a little road that goes in. So what I'm hoping is that he carries on walking in this direction, because I can't go through here at the moment. There's quite a bit of debris. I'm just going to quickly pick up the pace and go ahead. Doesn't seem too unrelaxed. Oof. Where is that? Oh, it is here. It's just very overgrown because of all the rain that we've had. So you're going to have to bear with us as we go through, but this could be quite nice. I haven't seen who it is just yet. It is a fully grown male leopard, and we are in the heart of the territory of a big male by the name of Shimungwe. And he's one that we've seen before. But maybe it's him, because he didn't really run away. Actually, Kat and I got a big fright because we were driving. There he is. I'm going to just stop here for now. Can you see him to the right of that marula tree? Oh, sorry. It's not laughing at me. But we're right in probably his favorite drainage system at the moment. We haven't seen him for some time. He's just behind there, so we'll keep an eye on where he goes, and hopefully we'll get a better view. It is going to be extremely tricky, as the grass is quite long. Okay, I think we might have to go forward, hey, Kat? Okay, right, let's do that quickly. So we do sleep outs in this little spot here, which is really cool. So what that means is that we take the students out on an overnight experience in a Big 5 wilderness system. And, well, students might have had leopard walk past. Actually, in fact, they often have leopards walking past them. Where are you? Ooh, ooh. Obviously now I'm excited because leopard. Now I've got to figure out where he is. And try not to hit any logs on the way in. He might just have sat down just in here. Please don't leap out of the grass again. That's what happened the first time. That's how we found him. Is that we didn't see him. He was maybe a couple of meters off the road, and he sprung out of the grass because he was just laying flat. Ah, invisible leopard. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab binoculars. I'm going to sit quietly for just a moment. I just want to see if I can't see the tips of his ears. It's very difficult to see. I'm also looking behind me to make sure he doesn't done a sneak. I don't think he went up and over this sort of debris-filled area. I think he's somewhere here. Also going to listen out. There's a couple of little birds chirping. So while Gert stays in that direction, I'm just going to have a sort of further look back in case he hasn't given us the slip. Very easy. Of course, leopards are masters at leopard crawling, as you've seen. They don't need much grass to hide away. And the camouflage is just out of this world. Are you, boy? I don't really want to drive right in there. I don't want to scare him. That's the last thing we want to do. But we don't have a view of him now. So 50, I haven't even had a proper look at him yet, so I can't answer any questions just yet. I'm going to need to drive around and try and find him, but I need to be concentrating 100%. See, now there's some crowned lapwings making a noise, but it might be there's another vehicle in the distance. And it's also starting to get very dark, as you can see. So once we have a look at this leopard, then I'll be able to tell you. We've literally just seen him, the top of his ears. As the view that you've seen is exactly what we have seen. There's been not much difference. Cool. Like I said, we're going to try and relocate in a second, and hopefully we'll be able to find him.
Welcome back, everybody, from one leopard with Taylor to another. This female leopard has had a bit of a reshuffle in her nest. Big old yawn, and has, after all that grooming, just been keeping a watchful eye out in the vicinity to see if she can't spot something like an impala. And in the direction that she's looking, almost always herds of impalas out in the open areas where we've often filmed before. And I'm really hoping that she comes down in the next short while and pursues some of those impala. We did see some on the way in. I can't see any looking back now, but I'm quite sure that she would have seen some. And after a little bit more grooming that she's doing now, might jump down and set off in the direction of those impala. There's a little bit of a pan come mudwallow. Oh, it's just more of a reshuffle there where she is. Down in the direction that she was looking. That animals like impala might go and have a drink before it gets dark. But she's now facing the other way. You can just see the white tips behind her ears and the black that really stick out now. She is contrasting the greens of the area that she's lying in now. Still remains really well camouflaged. I can't imagine that she'll spend a lot of the evening up there. Most likely hop down in the next while and then head off in search of some food. In fact, I think that might be it there. So if she does, I think we'll struggle to keep up with her if she goes in the direction that she's facing. But if not, I think we'll have some good luck if she carries on out towards us.
So we are with the Birmingham Pride sub-adults here at And Beyond in Gala, and they are looking very nice and relaxed, and you can actually see that young female is resting her head on the male, and she looks so comfy. Look at that stretch. So they're having a really nice lie-in this evening, considering they managed to steal that kill last night. It wasn't much, but it was a belly. So they are really nice and relaxed. You can see the white female's got a few new marks on her face, some new bloody patches, and that's from when they were playing and fighting over that carcass last night. They've got very sharp claws, and sometimes the lions so they really can injure each other, but it is especially so when they're actually being quite serious with a fight over a carcass. Like yesterday, there were one or two more serious little fights between them. There's quite a few flies around, so you can see their ears are moving and flicking every now and then. And that is the other white lion sitting up. Not quite ready to lie flat on the side yet. She does look nice and relaxed though. You can see she's got quite a few scars there on the back of her neck and shoulders. And again, this is from learning to play with the others, but also quite a bit of ferocity when she's at a carcass in particular. She's actually quite vicious when it comes to those carcasses. You can see her shoulder blades are quite nice and high up. Shame, those flies really are bothering them. So now that the wind has died down a little bit, there are quite a few more flies. We're actually in a very large clearing at the moment, believe it or not. Wow, look at that stretch from the male. No. Can you tell it's the end of the day? I'd be very interested to see what his mane looks like when he's older. Sky, I also love seeing all the Birmingham teenagers hanging out together. I've been very impressed with how independent they've become almost overnight. They were very attached to the Pride. They hadn't really ever left the Birmingham Pride, and now all of a sudden they're actually really comfortable on their own. And the fact that they've also been stealing kills, and they managed to kill that young wildebeest the other day, means that they're actually doing really well. So if I can put it this way, they're almost over the wall now. So they're getting old enough now that they're not as much at risk of being attacked by other animals. I would definitely think, though, that the two white ones are still at risk. They are such stand lions. It is much more difficult for them to camouflage. We're going to send you over to Pridelands quickly.
Right, there we go. There he is. So just had a quick look at him. It's the same male leopard we had a sighting of that climbed up into a marula tree a little while ago. And he's just dropped down. And he's just thinking. Richard, just stand by. Stand by. Sorry, I'm trying to navigate the site, so you guys are going to have to just bear with me. Richie's coming towards you. If you look straight ahead of you, he's going in that direction to the left of those trees in the grass, but he dropped his shoulders and he was walking straight towards you. I'm just live at the moment. I'm going radio down. Sorry, everybody, but this is the reality of being a safari guide. So this is quite exciting. Now, I do have to say a big thank you to one of the viewers, James Richard, who helped me identify him. And he's been regularly seen in Jajani. There you go. There he is. Where are you looking, huh? I'm trying to look where the camera's pointed so that I can have a better idea for Richard. Hopefully he goes up and over that side and onto the open plains. There's lots of impala there. There he's still going. Okay, there the guy, the students have all seen him, so that's really good. I was hoping that they're going to see him. They're going to get a complete walk by the leopard. So it's very awesome. He's actually settling down quite nicely. A lot of the time, leopards that are nervous during the day tend to be a lot more relaxed at night. But we've had so many encounters with him now, and yeah, spoiled. I hope he sticks around. But he doesn't seem to be very, very old. From the photos that I've seen, I would estimate his age somewhere between 3 and 4.5 years old. I don't think he's particularly old, which would explain his movements and why he's moving around so much. Because we've seen him now in 1, and 3 different locations and all different spots and quite far apart from one another. And so, yeah, nomadic young male leopard trying to find his place at Pridelands. I hope he does stay here. Okay, I'm going to try and go around again. We're going to just go around this pan. Sorry, Tristan. Wait. And see if we can't get another view of him. What we also are going to have to do is probably go into infrared. Because we won't put a spotlight on him. Okay, because what you can see there is the planes. And that whole area, there must be close to 100 impala moving around. Also some wildebeest, some zebra. Crap, I don't know, how do we get out? Crap is to help me with everything. No. Going the wrong way. It's dark, can't see now. So it's very difficult sometimes to drive. Obviously when you go off-road, you typically go into low range, and cars don't have as great of a turning circle then. So this makes it increasingly difficult. I'm hoping the students and one of the other instructors, Richard, there's our tracks, has still got eyes on him. Be very cool. How exciting, huh? I hope that he becomes a regular and we get to see him all the time, because he's actually got quite a bit of character. He's got the most beautiful, piercing blue eyes. So that's nice. I hope he's moved. We're coming through. Well, I'm sure he is. Otherwise, Richard probably would have said, Taylor, stand by. So I'm just going to come around and see. He's just up front. I really want him to sit on top of some of these logs. Wait. So he's got a 2-2 spot pattern. Beautiful blue eyes. Okay, Richard's just showing me. I'm trying to... There's a log here, unfortunately. Oh, there he goes. I think he's just thinking around the bushes, so we're just going to try and creep up to him. Ooh, okay, so he's relaxing quite a bit now that it's darker. We see this so often with leopards. I'm just going to go up ahead. I can't see him, but he's blending in so well. What for the stick frame? Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay, I think we're going to go into infrared now so that we can see a bit better, because, like I said, we're not going to put the spotlight on him. Otherwise, it's going to ruin any chances that he has of hunting. How cool is that? If you're not familiar with an infrared light, essentially it is a light wave that animals can't see, neither can we. So we'll just sit here in complete darkness, and luckily I have a monitor that can pick up the light from the camera. This is an awesome way to watch these animals hunt, but I don't know where he's gone now. He's disappeared into that thicket. I probably won't do too much off-roading now, unless it's out in the open, because if I keep driving over any branches, not that he was actively hunting when we found him, or any time now, he's just moving around, but I suspect he's going to make an attempt on these impala a bit later. They might even move a little bit closer down this side as they normally do, but at least we got a quick view of him, which is quite cool. His mouth open. Is looking up at the marula tree very quickly. I'll be able to have a look at what his teeth look like and get a better indication too. But right now, he's gone. And I don't think we're going to go into that drainage system. It's too thick in there. And who knows, there might be a day. Anyways, well, we'll probably leave the area now. Just had a quick view, unless he does pop out onto these open plains. If you go across to Tristan, who's used to seeing leopards all the time.
Well done, Taylor. That's really cool to have another leopard on Pridelands that you can potentially follow. I know Taylor misses a lot of the cats that we see here at Yuma, so I'm glad that she managed to get a nice sighting of a leopard on Pridelands. Always a thrill when you find one of them, particularly in an area there where, you know, the leopards are still just getting used to people. They're not like the ones here that have a long history of being followed, so it's really cool for her. And it seems like it's been a leopard palooza today. Yesterday was a lion day, but today has been just leopards all around. It's been pretty much everywhere, which is the best kind of day in my opinion, but I am very biased, so, you know, it's the way it goes. But we've just come towards Vuurtele Dam. I had a hunch that maybe, just maybe, frogs are calling. I'm going to keep quiet for a little bit after I told you what my hunch was, is that Columbus trucks came out from the drainage line off Gallego shortcut, very close to the camp, and it kind of went north. She's very full-bellied. We know that there was some alarm calls before we started drive, so I was just thinking maybe she was robbed of a kill, and there's another leopard around, so I just thought I'd do a loop and just come sit here for a bit and just listen and see. Maybe there's another alarm call or a vocalizing if it's a male leopard. You never know. So that was the kind of plan. But I'll keep quiet so you guys can hear all the bubbling casinas that are calling at the moment, in amongst some of the painted reed frogs as well. Isn't that cool? Peaceful, isn't it? Well, it's exciting too. There's another hippo in this dam. We now have two. Dewey's found himself a friend. There's the Egyptian goose, and then hippo, and then another hippo in the background. I haven't seen two hippos in this dam for a long time. What a beautiful way to end the day. Just the sounds of these water points in the summer. There's just so much going on. So that kind of popping sound that you're hearing, that's the bubbling casino. And that ticking sound, that tick, 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 is the painted reed frog that's calling. And those are the water thickneys. All right, we're going to carry on. This seems to be fairly quiet. I might sit here for another couple of minutes. In the meantime, though, let's send you across to Ngala with the lions.
So we are back here with the Birmingham sub-adults at and beyond Ngala. We're using the infrared light because we have got no natural light left, and they're all sitting with their heads up, sniffing into the wind at the moment. We had, big yawn. We had the strangest thing happen. We heard a bit of a commotion. Lions all sat up, and these hyenas came sprinting through this clearing. None of them noticed the lions, but the lions definitely noticed them. They themselves were having a bit of a dominance fight, and they disappeared just as quickly as they appeared into the bushes. And now the lions are all sitting up and watching where they disappeared. But it certainly woke them up very quickly from their catnap. You can hear the young lioness in the middle. And and she's listening very carefully too. It's amazing when we sit here like this and we watch how all of their heads move at the same time in the same directions. You just wonder what on earth they're hearing, because if you listen carefully, I can hear insects. I can hear bubbling casinos like you heard with Tristan at the dam. I hear a wildebeest every now and then. I can hear an elephant trumpeting in the distance. But they can hear a lot more than we can, and I'm wondering what they can hear at the moment. Possibly they can still hear those hyenas running around. I can hear an impala calling in the distance as well. So they're still in quite a state. They're alert, but they're relaxed. They're not feeling like they're about to get up and move. They're just making sure of what's around them. Got another lioness there. This white lioness is very alert compared to the others tonight. She was actually the first one to sit up and really start looking around. And if you have a look at that glow in her eyes, it's actually quite amazing how well these infrared lights do. Because there's no actual light that we can see here. It's as natural as possible for them. So I'm going to sit here for a little while longer with the Birmingham sub-adults and see if they wake up properly from their catnap, and we'll send you over to and beyond Pinder with another big cat.
So guys, yeah, just so you guys also know, the dogs were up the mountain. They did come down and they were chasing impalas and all of those things, and unfortunately they stayed in like a single spot around that waterhole where we thought they were, but that is like literally in the valley of the mountain, so we couldn't get it on screen though. So we decided to come back, enjoy the sunset and enjoy these two boys. As you can see, they are taking life still easy. They just moved around the bush a little bit. Hopefully tomorrow morning those dogs will still be in the area and looking to hunt, and hopefully we can locate on them and see if we can't get them on screen for you guys. They're looking pretty good. Belly's a little flatter than the other day though. As you can imagine, I think they may have only fed last night or so. But yeah, seems like everyone's been eating something yesterday. So all good in the predator side and Swallow. But yeah, shame, these guys are just enjoying the lazy day today. It's necessary sometimes, especially for something like the males. Their home ranges or their territories, like we've mentioned before, can be quite vast, and in the Kalahari even more so. So these boys, when they're not hunting, they're patrolling, and when they're not patrolling, they are looking for females and so on. So they've got a pretty busy life. So every now and again, after a big meal, it's good for them to just do this. Absolutely nothing for a day. Just recharge the batteries a little bit, and then tomorrow they can start looking a little bit more active again. You can see they are looking around quite a bit, especially this one closest to us. He's looking up in the northerly direction quite often, and then back down to the waterhole again. So he's also the one that might be looking to hunt maybe something small sooner than the other male, just because his belly is a little flatter. So yeah, might be just that he's keeping his eyes open. It's also the time of day that you'll find the hyenas starting to get a little bit more active, and the leopards and so on, so they also know they need to keep their eyes open for those things, so as to not be surprised. They are close to the waterhole, which is just enhances the chances for them to bump into a predator like that, or an enemy rather. So very important for them now that when it cools down to be a little bit more aware of their surroundings. For the cheetahs, as you can imagine, even though you do often find them moving around during the evenings, their night sight or night vision is not so great, so that is their more vulnerable time. And with that being the case, they just need to be very awake and aware of what goes on around them when it starts looking like this. During the day, their vision, them and the wild dog's vision are very good, so then they don't really have to worry about it too much, because that's also when the other predators will be a little bit more lazy. So the roles just get swapped as far as activity is concerned. Bubbles, yeah, we've got amazing scenery here at Swallow, and just to have cheetahs in the scene as well, with the sunset and the open area and all of those things, it's just stunning. You're absolutely right. We're very lucky in that aspect. And any scene with a cheetah in it just makes life a little easier, So, perfect way to enjoy a sunset. Can hear the wind actually picking up now, with the sun disappearing behind the clouds and it cooling down slightly. The wind's definitely picking up, coming still from the eastern side, like we said this morning about that cyclone coming in. So pushing quite a bit more than what it was during the day, just because during the day it was a little warmer. Perfect conditions for something like a leopard to hunt in, though, when the wind is as strong as when it's picking up like it is right now. They'll really enjoy the windy conditions. I don't know how long it's going to take these guys to get active, though. They seem to be enjoying their life pretty much at the moment. One brother's just spotted something. I saw a tail flicking not too long. Yeah, guys, we'll stay with him for a little bit and see what the brother spotted. I think it's a blue wildebeest though, but for the meantime, we're gonna just chill here with him, okay?
For the month of January 2021, we are offering a chance to win a unique Wild Earth expedition to the magnificent Swallow Kalahari. From the ancient Kortai's Koranenberg Mountains to the southern Kalahari's red sand dunes, Swallow offers what travelers crave most: space and time. The winner will explore this landscape in a vehicle, on foot, or on horseback, with a chance to go behind the scenes with Wild Earth and of course meet the meerkats. The prize includes a 3-night stay for you and a friend at the luxury Motse Lodge, including flights from either Johannesburg or Cape Town. Open to all Wild Earth explorers who have signed up before the end of January 2021. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to my car. This is Wendy, and she's my favorite. She would love to have your name engraved on her so you can be with her every single time she goes on a safari here in Djuma. If you become a Wild Earth explorer, you will have the opportunity to buy an engraved tag which we will attach to her. We will make sure to send you a digital picture to show you exactly where you are sitting on her. You will have front row seat in every single sighting. My name is Lauren, and I'm currently working in Djuma Private Game Reserve here in South Africa. I love answering your questions during the live safaris. It's my favorite part. It feels like you're on the vehicle with me, and I'm able to teach you exactly what you want to know. If you want to ask a question on Wild Earth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, you must go to the live safari page and ask your question below the live feed.
So yeah, guys, we can't see what they're seeing. There's definitely something. We saw the tail swishing just now. It must be either a blue wildebeest or a gemsbok, an oryx. But I don't, it doesn't seem like they're too interested in them at the moment. Then what they will show interest in, however, is if that animal comes a little closer, something the size of a male oryx or a male blue wildebeest could be large enough for them to have to worry about it, just if he wants to chase them a little bit or so. But as far as hunting is concerned, their bellies are full enough not to have to take a chance with something as big as that. But yeah, it is unfortunately that time of the afternoon again where we are enjoying the last little bit of light and enjoying the last seconds with you guys for the day. It's been wonderful to have all of you on the drive. Gary, so with the cheetahs, yes. Well, with predators, yes, you'll find the ones that stick together, that to a certain extent they'll help each other if the other one gets injured. However, as soon as the one feels that helping the other one is going to negatively affect him, the unharmed one, that is then going to be the cutoff point where he has to then take care of himself rather than to take care of his brother. But it does absolutely make sense for them to help each other, just because, together they are stronger. You'll find that with something like wild dogs, they help each other probably more than with something like cheetahs. And then with lions, the same thing as with the dogs. They'll also help each other as long as they can keep up. The others will, if there's a wound, continue cleaning it. If there's a kill to be made, make the kill and share it with the other one, the injured one. However, it is going to still be a ranking order thing. That injured one is going to drop to the bottom of the ranking order, and that will cause him or her to feed last. So yes, to a certain extent, until it negatively affects the unharmed one, then they'll stop doing that. So yes and no, but initially they will. But yeah, guys, unfortunately we are going to have to say good night now. It's been wonderful having all of you guys with us on the drive, and we hope to see all of you tomorrow morning again at 5:30. For those of you in South Africa, you can follow us on channel 183 on DSTV, or you can also follow us on YouTube. And remember to send us all of your questions via the website, wildearth.tv, or you can use the hashtag WildEarth if you're doing it like on YouTube or Twitter or so. But yeah, hope to see all of you tomorrow morning. We'll see if we can find those dogs. And it's been great to have all of you here. The sunset is just perfect, and the cheetahs and everything. So yeah, guys, you must have a wonderful evening, and then we'll see you all tomorrow morning, okay? Have a good evening. Good night.